Hello, friends. Welcome to me, Mommy, and Daddy's story.
Hello, everyone. This is going to be the very first episode in our documentary. And first off, let me introduce myself. My name is Gabor. And as you well know,
I'm Kevin Gabor.
yes. And in order to tell our entire story, we have to start
At the
going
very
back.
beginning?
Yes, that is true. And that starts with me, with Istvan.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So to let everybody know, I was born in what is Romania today. It's the northwestern part of Romania. It is also called Transylvania. So I was born there in what can be called a village, although a lot of people like to say it's a town. Some say it's a city. Either way, it's a very small place. I was born to a Hungarian family that also has partial Slovak in our roots. And from my mother's side, we also have German. So it's a very mixed family. When I was born, Romania was communist, and we were what's considered a minority. So we were Hungarians, a minority in a communist country that was occupied by Romanians. If you know a little bit about the history, Transylvania is a part of the world that has been kind of going back and forth. At one point, it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and then it was also given back after many wars to Romania. So the reason I bring that up is there was a little bit of that conflict there, being a minority in a country, and in Romania, specifically in Transylvania, you will find a lot of Germans, Hungarians, Slovaks, as we call them, that are from either Slovenia or Slovakia, and some other nationalities as well. So I lived in communism. I will not get into the entire detail, but there were very strict rules. We had scarcities in food, pretty much everything else that's unimaginable here. For example, if there were some items and somehow they were selling them, we had lines that were just miles long just to be able to get there to purchase it. Oftentimes you would stay 2-3 days, and by the time you get to the front of the line, you wouldn't have the item. They were sold out. And we're talking about not luxuries, just basic necessities a lot of times. So it was really, really tough. And communism also did not look well upon minorities. So there were a lot of issues. The reason I bring that up, it's going to be important because K-Mom is Romanian. So that's where we get the Romanian portion into the mix. And it's important for you to know your background and your history. So my parents decided that they did not want to live in communism. And at that time, they didn't know that it was going to end. It felt like communism was going to go on forever. So they decided to flee Romania and go to Germany. And as I mentioned, since we have some German in our lineage. And they did that, but they had to leave their children behind. So the parents risked everything. And at that time, if you were caught at the border, there was a high chance that you would either get beaten or even killed. So they took that chance and they went to Germany, leaving the four of us, me and my two brothers and sister, behind in Romania. And meanwhile, a revolution came. So while this revolution was going on, we were alone in the country. And the revolution came, communism ended, and then we were able to join them and get back to Germany. Pretty interesting. So a lot of the questions are answered there. That's how I knew how to speak Romanian, Hungarian, and also German. By the time I went to Germany, I knew German at a native level. And then in Germany, we stayed for about a good 2 years. And once again, we were granted asylum in the United States of America. but it was kind of the same process. So my dad had to go and come to the United States first and leave the entire family behind. And only 1 year later, we could join him. So that was the arduous and long journey for us to get to the United States of America. And while in the United States, I went through middle school, high school, and college in the US. And upon graduating from college, I joined the Army. Yes. So I joined the Army, and I was also stationed overseas. I am a combat veteran. I also went to war and fought in a war. And while stationed in Germany, I got the chance to go to Romania. But if I backtrack a little bit, I want to let you know that even while I was in the US, especially during high school years and college years, I like to travel and go back to Romania. And there's a couple reasons. I probably shouldn't be telling you this. You don't need to hear this. But if anybody's been to Europe, you will know this. For young adults, it is fun in Europe. So that means they're a little bit more liberal and the age limits are a little bit lower. There's a lot of clubs and places where the youth can kind of have fun. So there was a lot more to do in Europe for someone that's, 16, 17, 18, than in the United States. So I like to spend my summers overseas. And specifically, I traveled a little bit around Europe, but mostly Romania. And this is going to tie in on how, your dad ended up, revisiting and then finally asking out your mom. All right, I know you've heard these stories before. So basically, that was a little bit of the background of how and why we speak those languages. So I went back and, believe it or not, me and K-Mom, actually, in this small village, lived on the same street. How surprising is that? How small is the world? So here I was, far away. We are separated by an entire ocean. Long distance. And I go back, and lo and behold, she is on the same street in this tiny little city or town, let's call it. I don't know. Some might debate it's a village, but yes. So we are back. We have known each other from before. We have met, but it took a while. I kept going back, and our paths just did not really cross. Either she was kind of away at the time that I was there, because I only went back for a very limited time, so probably like a month and a half. That would be it. So we might not always, but we knew of each other, of course, being a small town village. And so it was only a while later, when I went back, that we started going out and we started dating. And that will be actually time for another story, I believe. So this gave you the broad background, and in the next episode, we are going to talk about more about K-Mom and me, and then, of course, the events. And we will talk more about Kevin.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And bye-bye, friends.
Tune in for the next one, friends.